very big welcome to all the participants here, East and West and Central. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening in from, and for the future recording, whatever time frame you have chosen to join in. We're very fortunate to have Yonoshin Mori here. Very happy to have him, such a management scholar over the last 25 years already of consulting experience. And of course, with the topic of IPF, the innovation platform-based innovation in a time of crisis, he will give us a bit of background. Having worked in business strategy development and organizational transformation support in many industries, and of course, extensive experience in corporate alliances between Japan and global companies as well. Published quite a few management books, which you can also find on the link at his biography to have a look at as well. I'm very happy to introduce you to Yonoshin. As you know, we have the question and answers. Please put them there. Use the chat for informal conversations between the participants. We'll pick up the question answer roughly after about 20 minutes, and then we have about 10 minutes for Q&A as well at the end. So without further ado, Yonoshin-san, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good evening, or even good night to you. Okay, today I would like to introduce what I have been working around on with the Japanese companies mainly, and sometimes with the global companies regarding innovation. By the way, I have worked for the R30 for over 30 years until end of last year, and I'm now independent consultant in Japan on growth and innovation strategy anyhow. Today, IPF is the one I would like to present in terms of the framework to understand the innovation pattern or uniqueness of the mostly private corporation. Okay, let me describe the background briefly now on the page 2. Okay, IPF, Innovation Platform, is the word or terms which I have created 15 years ago when I was with ADL, which is to describe the company's innovation pattern or unique innovation process or winning pattern, which should be based on the innovation opportunity findings, new business opportunity findings, and so on. The reason why we have identified the IPF framework is that many of the times, even not in necessarily the time of the crisis, but also in the normal time of the period, people and company tend to do different things to find opportunity for new business with the somewhat different from which they have based on, or the far from their winning pattern. Then they fail. So then we just want to identify what is the innovation pattern or unique innovation process of the company which successfully leads the company's innovation or opportunity, business opportunity. So this framework could be applied even in the time of the crisis today, as well as in the time of the normal era. Okay, and now page 3. Like you see, there are many happenings today. After the crisis started, many companies are even shaken off, stop the growth, or demotivated, and many things happen now happening today. But some companies is trying to find out innovation or business opportunity to regrow based on their innovation pattern, or we would say IPF. I will introduce a few examples later, but this is very important for us to understand that what is your IPF? Okay. Now, what is IPF? Let me briefly describe what IPF is. Now, this chart describes the personality of yourself, which is analogy of the companies itself. This could be applied to even a venture startup because a venture startup is mainly relied on the owner's character. So this is just applied to every entity or company in the world. For example, you as a human being has a lot of the different characters or even DNAs or skill, which is being inherited from the ancestors or raised through your family and friends. So that's center of the yourself, okay? The same, so that even you do basketball, you're different from others. If you are the forward, you should be good at dunking, but you are, guard, you should be very speedy and agile, not different. So even in you, same, you are the same human being, you are different. And also, for example, even as a company like Toyota Group, ISPIM and Denso, the big major tier 1 company under the Toyota, but they are very different. So the point is, you as a human being or you as a company is different from others. Then you have to identify what you are good at, what your skill is, character is. So that is important things we believe. So again, like human being analogy is coming up again. And then if you are the person who will be raised in the an environment of the global scene, and then find out something you may want to contribute to the Africa, you may put a future vision to establish the educational training business in Africa, and then to build up the sufficient education environment in Africa. That could be your future vision or future view of the world yourself. For example, you are 20 years old. I may not be the one today, but this is kind of path you could take on as a human being. The same thing could be applied to the entity or enterprise in the business scene. Let's see, this is kind of the framework, innovation platform-based innovation strategy setting development. First of all, on the left-hand side, top left-hand side, there's a lot of things in the world, new market, old market changing, lifestyle changing, a new crisis coming up. So telework, social distancing, virtual market, new normal could be coming up in the business environment. This is the same for all the companies, all the enterprises, everybody. But before you just jump into find out new business, you may have to stop and think through what you are in terms of utilizing innovation platform framework, which is, like I said, analogy to human being, like DNA, character, skill. I will comment on the 3 layers model later, but anyhow, IPF is the what you are as an entity. Then based on the IPF on the left-hand side, you would be envisioning your future or define your own view of the world or vision or future picture of yourself. Right? Then you would be navigate what the innovation strategy should be. This is kind of logical step 1, 2, 3. That starting point should be IPF definition. Let me put comment a little more about IPF. Okay. This chart is being created by myself and my colleague 15 years before, which is being utilized by many Japanese companies, technology-oriented companies mostly, which is structured, composed by 3 layers: value layer, asset layer, capability layer. Then business layer or commercial layer could be the same in the same industry. Like Apple and Sony could be producing the handy terminal or iPhone type of the set. But their capability, asset, value is very different. And the other example could be, let's say, Epson and Brother or Canon or OA makers had the same type of the copy machine or even a fax machine on the commercial output layer, but again, their capability layer, asset layer, value layer is very, very different. So even in you are in the same industry, your IPF is very different based on the fact that philosophy is different, founding principle is different, shared value is different, which is on the value layer. And also on the asset layer, your human asset, type of the human asset is different, relationship-based asset is different, and also on the capability layer, the way you would be improving your business is different. Also the knowledge, is different. And also, for example, partnering or M&A capability is different, very different from each other. Also, the capability asset layer includes technology platform. This is when I work for the many Japanese technology-oriented companies. Again, this technology asset, technology capability is very, very different from one by each other. Let's say, for example, in my experience, let's say company like Brother, which is good at the producing multifunction, printer with on the desktop, is very good at integrating the components and devices to set up the one product like MFE. But company like Canon, Epson is very good at device manufacturing. For the LCD, battery, or those things is their production. So component oriented, their R&D is very their center capability. So like I said, commercial output layer is the same, but IPFs very different each other. That's the point. Okay, so the IPF could be the one which could draw in internal and external competencies and resources into the enterprise, and also that creates various types of the business output from the IPF. So this is the concept of IPF. Now, let me take a few examples. Who is winning in the time of the crisis? Okay. Let me take the example of the Woeran and Terumo, which those are the Japanese companies with the turnaround of around, let's say Woeran has 8 to 9 billion euro, US dollars company. Terumo is again 5 to 6 billion US dollars company, which are the large companies. But looking to their current 3 months stock price trends, both trends said that their stock price is being, coming up, rising quite significantly, even though this is, just last 3 months, meaning that the crisis started, but their price is coming up. Why? Okay, first of all, Woeran, by the way, is the control equipment manufacturer, which is be used to electronics parts, in vehicle parts, and healthcare equipment. And Terumo's production is mainly medical equipment, and large share with such as catheter and heart lung machines. Maybe Bruno, you may know this company. So what are their IPF in Woeran and Terumo? This is kind of described by myself, but most of the words described here is that they are claiming to the public. For example, Woeran's value is a very famous value. Is their value is the to produce the machine. I mean, machines can do should be left to the machine. On the other hand, human being should enjoy activity, more creative fields, so that they make many OA and FA equipment to free the human being out from the simple works. For example, pass gate, ATC, or FA equipments are their products, and so to free the human being time out from those things. So there are certain capabilities centered around the sensing and control technology, which is to be applied to FA, auto, healthcare, public transportation, and so on. This is Omron. Okay, on the other hand, thermal, there's a very famous founder, Dr. Kitazato. He said, scientists should never feel its self-satisfaction doing advanced research. The true objective is for the result to be put to use, thereby contributing to society. Dr. Kitazato is the famous scientist or doctor, but he said his technology should be contributing to society, otherwise it's no use. That's Thermo's basic principle. Then they have the wide range of products from professional medical devices to patient-oriented medical devices, like syringes, hollow fiber, oxygenator, minimally invasive catheter treatment technology. So these are all thermal production capability. So now they have found innovation opportunities today in the crisis era, COVID crisis. For example, Omron, online telemedicine service is gaining the attraction or to be migrated into medical scene in Japan, because doctor could diagnose the patient online from for early prevention and treatment of disease, as has many found in the other countries. Omron finding through their monitor and blood pressure monitor equipment, they are finding opportunity in this era. Also, on different major business line of the FA, today, even the FA equipment could be very much in need, because the factory floor, you have to avoid close and close. You have to be take this social distance even in factory. So their equipment is being attracted by many industrial automation users. So these are all based on the Omron's IPF, or value layer IPF, which is being developed by the founder Kazuma Tateishi, who said, we have to find out potential needs of society and respond by combining our technology with sensing and control technology. So Omron is finding opportunity of the COVID in the era of COVID-19 based on their IPF today. Thermo could be the same. Innovation opportunities coming up to Thermo based on their centrifugal blood component separation device Spectroptia, which is being received and EUA, as you may know, for COVID-19 patients from the FDA, and also their pathogen reduction device Mirasol was accepted by International Hematology Medical Journal. So they are kind of finding out a new opportunity at the era of the COVID-19. Again, this is coming up from their policy of to contribute to the society, and also today they've declared that coronavirus infection disease is to combine the power of the thermal group actively contribute to the prevention, the treatment of the virus. So that's their policy today, standing out from their IPF. There are many examples, by the way, in Japan. Sharp, Sony, they're coming into the medical scene, and Iris Oyama is finding a way at telework scene, and more to come. So, just a few minutes. point is, even in the coronavirus or even the crisis era, you have to start with the what is inflection point of the world today. That is kind of same for everybody, but point is you have to redefine your own IPF and then create own view of the world, which is vision, then plan innovation strategy. That's kind of the step-by-step approach to find out opportunity, new business opportunity for the company through dialogue, participated by management and rank and file people and everybody. 20 minutes. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yonoshin Mori. This was great and a great influx of how to put your head around the crisis-driven innovation and what to do next and how to go forward. I would like to invite the participants also to put the questions in the Q&A. What's upcoming? In the meantime, I would like to ask you if you could reflect maybe again on when you describe the area, you put the word necessity, and I think this is a very good description. And looking at the examples that you brought from the medicine side, I think it would be. Could you elaborate on how do you define the necessity of where to go forward?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Sorry. For example, in Japan, no, not only in Japan, but also in the world, today, life is restricted, in terms of the social distancing. You should not go to somewhere packed up by the people, taking distance anyhow. So that could be applied to only to the factory automation or medical scene, right? So distance is very important, which is kind of the necessity we have to take in, right? Then Omron and Terumo and all others taking advantage of the keyword distance. Okay, so Omron said, no, now I have the market share of the blood pressure monitor with the some function of the electrocardiograph. Now, doctor, you can use this equipment without without face-to-face diagnosis with the patient. You could be diagnose the patient from a distance. So they are finding what opportunity based on their current product, their sensing control technology into medical devices. So that's one example. Okay.
Very nice. Well, in the meantime, we have the Q&A already filling up. One of the questions was, do you think that Japanese companies are more value-driven than companies in other countries? And if that's the case, why would that be so?
Well, thank you, but not necessarily value-driven. Well, what I mean is Japanese companies tend not to be very innovative. I mean, jumping into different fields to seek for the value. But instead, they are very implementably walk through step by step. Then they kind of find out the value at the time of you face to the client needs, market needs, meaning that they are very street, I would say, street smart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of that, to go helicopter view to find out the value. Instead, they just go walk through the client needs. Then they are smart enough to find out value. So that's a way of Japanese company, I would say.
Thank you. Another question was, how is IPF compared to the resource-based view and dynamic capability theory, or is there similarities?
Yeah, there is similarity, of course. When I have developed the IPF framework, the resource-based view, the Barney, is the one I have started with. But at the same time, I have taken into the kind of the helicopter view or the view of the world thinking. So I have combined. But basically, IPF is close to the resource-based view. But I would put more focus on the value layer instead of the resources and capability layer, which means value would be very wide open. See, if you like to contribute to society, that's good for the value. You can do everything beyond your resources, right? Then create some kind of view or vision of the future, which go beyond the resource of yourself. So IPF, I would be thinking that covering the resource-based view. That's
I see. Yeah, thank you. The one question that moved up also in the view with some support was, could you elaborate on the process, the balance between the linear versus how much is iterative?
Linear or iterative? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the way of how the IPF is set up.
Okay. Yeah.
Within the process. Yeah.
By the way, it's not linear process to identify IPF or even the vision, development. It's a lot of interaction would be needed. So I say it is dialogue based because sometimes even if you're finding out in this, some market trends or new things happening like today, the interpretation of the market change is somewhat different. You have multiple answers on that. Then sometimes you find, let's say, you find that this is the IPF, our company, but if you look into different angle, then that is a little bit different. So we have to modify this IPF, okay, and then let's discuss again next week. So very creative. So that I would say dialogue. And then I would say sometimes 500-600 man-hours to find out IPF, for example, within the 1 month or 2 time period. So that
but even coming back, like next week and to see how it goes is a kind of an iterative approach.
Yeah.
So dialogue could be another word for the iterative process way to go forward in that.
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dialogue based. So it's almost more understandable than iterative, I think, maybe in some ways. I think we have time for one more quick question and answer. The Japanese scientists and leaders often seems to favor putting to use, but I think you've answered that before as very street savvy. How strong is that dedication in general, and how does it support Japanese corporate innovation strength?
I'm sorry, you said again. Say again.
How strong is that dedication in general, and how does it support the Japanese corporate innovation strength?
Okay.
So how much of the street savvy goes into the corporate innovation strength?
Yeah. Again, I think it is too strong, too savvy on the street.
Okay.
But yeah, that's okay. It's that is so strengths and weakness for Japanese company. In fact, so they are not. Yeah. So it's strong in this, and the street smart is very good to implement the product, but they may not be able to jump into the different roles or create a new value. That's the weakness of the Japanese companies. Yes.
Great, excellent. Well, we've actually we're almost at the end of our time frame. I would just take the last few seconds to thank you very much again for this insightful presentation. Also, the good hands-on questions and answers, and also the questions from the audience. Thanks to everyone for participating, and we're looking forward to the rest of the conference, and wish you all the best. Yonoshin, thank you for your virtual contribution. Hopefully soon, maybe in Osaka, we'll see each other already face to face.